I initially thought I would be a surgeon. I actually gave up taking over my dad's accounting firm in Hong Kong because I didn't want to wake up in the city. I'm a city boy that loves the suburbs, and I also didn't want to wake up and do people's taxes. So when he was like, "Okay, kiddo, what is it that you want to do?" I said, "I have no clue, but let me explore." And at the time, the medical field really resonated with me, specifically being a surgeon because of the hands-on aspects. Been an athlete my whole life, and also the intellectually challenging aspects, as well as the lucrative career aspects. Now, the thing is, why we're super passionate in doing what we do now is because at the time, right, according to conventional wisdom, and it's still kind of, I would say, permeates a lot of societal norms right now, is doctor, lawyer, and engineer, and you will have your life and career set, which, as we all know, in 2024, that is no longer the case. So for me, as I was immersed in the medical training, I had my resume geared up to be a surgeon. I realized that long term, this would not be a fulfilling path for me, right? Just as a side note, I also have my own personal goals and dreams. I'm Jayhawk raised here in the championship state of Kansas, and that really created this desire to own my own MBA team, right? So I thought, hey, why not go be a team physician? Oh, maybe I hang around the team. But, ultimately I realized, okay, I would still be doing surgeries almost all day, every day. And I really wouldn't be as, integrated with the world of basketball, right, and business the way that I had envisioned to. So I was like, you know what? And nowadays, if you want to own an NBA team, you're looking at $5 to $10 billion anyways. So obviously the surgeon salary plus minus of $500,000 is not going to cut it. So that's when I decided to, make a calculated decision to first and foremost go after mentorships, right? I really, was very intentional in surrounding myself with people who were more successful than me, who already had the life that I wanted to live. I basically, during my master's time, it was really an academic excuse. It was like my own sabbatical, but I was keeping busy, right? Really, I was studying a lot of the successful people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Studying how, basically the Forbes list made their wealth, right? Binge watching Shark Tank so I can indirectly hang out with Mark Cuban, right? Because he's obviously an NBA team owner.
Mavericks,
So,
yeah.
right, yeah, Mavs. So the whole point is, for me, I recognize the importance of how fast proper mentorship can accelerate you to your success, right?
Mm-hmm.
In business, they say if you hang around 5 or 6 millionaires, multimillionaires, or billionaires, you will most likely be the next one. So what I started doing was, studying these successful individuals and also stacking the odds of success in my favor by networking as much as possible in high caliber rooms at high caliber business events, right? Now, I had kind of, been an independent business owner, right? And there were some ups and downs in my own journey, where I really found footing in all things leadership development. So I created my own international consulting firm all around leadership. And as I was networking, right, this was right before the turn of 2023, I met a gentleman. He's also an international city boy, born and raised in London, former internal medicine physician, right? So we kind of just hit it off. He was the last person at that event. Okay. We ended up speaking for an hour and a half and walked out of the event together. And I knew that, long term, that would be probably the most transformative relationship I have ever encountered in my life thus far. Now, here's the deal. It was right before the turn of 2023. So, my current business partner, who's him now, right? At the time, I really had to reflect, assess, and just see what is it that he is talking about. Because he left medicine and he became a bona fide hedge fund manager, a successful one, right? For the last 15 years, catering, primarily to our fellow medical professionals first, right? And then the other demographics like business owners, other professionals, IT, CPAs, engineers, etc. Right? But it was really in that moment when we shook hands and just hit it off that I would say set off everything. Now, at the time, like I said, I had my own trajectory. So I was like, let me assess this gentleman's philosophies, strategies, etc. And what I learned was he had the blessing and opportunity to learn from bona fide billionaires in our space. So we specifically trade futures and commodities, right?
Cool.
Where it is regarded as the most lucrative asset class out there, right? Due to its inherent risk and volatility. right? So a lot of people, just so the audience did not know, right? You've got traditional assets like stocks, bonds, treasury notes, mutual funds, right? Colleges even, right? And real estate, of course. But where we reside specifically is within the derivatives of alternative investments, right? So I did not know this at the time. I mean, I'm just kind of giving you that high level overview. So, there's a great man named John Arnold who took 1.5 million to 1.5 billion in 2.5 years, trading the commodity natural gas the right way. Okay. If you look him up right now, he's currently ranked 395 or 400 on Forbes with a net worth of $3 billion. He was coined the youngest self-made billionaire at age 33 back in 2007. People were saying had he kept going, he would most likely eclipse Warren Buffett with the rate of his growth, right? Now, after he became a billionaire, he became philanthropic, which is great for him, but he basically stopped doing what he was doing. And so for us, it was really like, wow, we would love to see what could have been. And so in a way, we're kind of like the modern day John Arnold's carrying that baton. We also take pride in basically, not having, I would say, very similar intentions as our typical fellow hedge fund managers that are mainly focused on growing their AUM, right? Assets under management. Whereas we are super passionate about creating exposure and awareness, right? Because we feel strongly that regardless if anyone decides to do anything with these markets, they should at least know about it, right? So that's kind of where, I was pleasantly surprised, but obviously shocked at the beginning when I learned, that this space exists. Because you have to realize just by having a conversation about this, it puts us in the circle of the ultra wealthy, right? We always talk about it internally, right? We're not here to get your regular master's of business administration, right? We're here for a real life MBA, which is a massive bank account. Because that's what matters here in the real world.
Yeah.
So in a high level overview summary, how I got started, I was an aspiring surgeon. Jayhawk raised from Kansas with the influence of Kansas, wanted to own my own MBA team, realized that surgery was not for me, put myself in a position towards success by first and foremost studying success, wealthy people, Forbes list, hung around with high caliber people in hopes of getting high caliber, relationships. And through all of that led me to meeting my current business partner now, where initially I actually started as a client. Remember, this is before the 2023. So after I assessed, what he was saying to me, I took a leap of faith. Okay. I revamped like 85 to 95% of my schedule heading into that 2023. Right. And that's when, life really began to change for me, because initially I learned how to take a couple $100s to over a couple thousand, but that was very insignificant compared to the intimate client conversations that we were able to have. Right. Because during those conversations, when we really dissected and were identified opportunities for synergistic growth. So what happened was we gave each other a business partnership test trial, right? My business partner delivered, I delivered, and the rest is now history.